amendment is not agreed to.
Mr. President, I ask to clarify, for colleagues' benefit, I ask unanimous consent that the remaining votes be 10 minutes in length.
Without objection.
Mr. President,
Senator from New Jersey.
I call up my amendment 2817 and ask that it be reported by number.
The clerk will report.
The senator from New Jersey, Mr. Kim, proposes amendment number 2817 to amendment number 2360.
Mr. President, I rise today because every single one of us in this chamber knows someone who relies on home and community-based service workers to maintain their quality of life. Maybe there's someone with a disability who needs an aide to help with essential tasks. Maybe they're a senior who requires a home health worker to keep them safe and healthy. Maybe they're a constituent you've met or family member you love. All of them are dependent on someone who works hard every day because they care. We owe them the same level care they give to those we love. That's what this amendment does. It strikes language that makes it harder for them to advocate for their own pay and conditions by adding the burden of needless red tape. It strikes language that makes it harder for them to ensure that they can provide the best care possible. Mr. President, the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that the number of home health and personal care aides will increase by more than 20%, nearly 1 million people by 2033. Millions of people will be working to help those we care about the most. I urge my colleagues to pass this amendment and stand with those who serve the people who need it most. I yield back.
Mr. President.
Senator from Missouri.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm proud that this provision, this breakthrough provision, has been included in the big, beautiful bill. This will provide much-needed relief for individuals with disabilities who've waited far too long to be on waiting lists to receive services. There's been a backlog, and this will help clear it up to the tune of billions of dollars. My colleague's amendment would completely undermine this very important effort. Ripping out important transparency and accountability provisions will divert intended resources for those who need it most in order to pay off public sector unions along the way. That's all this is. Medicaid exists to serve our patients. I've heard a lot from my Democrat colleagues about cutting benefits. It's all a lie. They're about to vote to cut off important benefits for the most vulnerable among us. So I'm tired of the lectures. This is actually a provision that does it. They're about to vote no. I encourage my colleagues to vote no on this amendment, which again is nothing more than a political payoff for public sector unions and takes money away from the most vulnerable among us.
Questions on the amendment?
Mr. President, I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Osterbrooks. Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Banks. Mr. Barrasso. Mr. Bennett. Mrs. Blackburn. Mr. Blumenthal. Ms. Rochester. Mr. Booker. Mr. Bozeman. Thank you. Mrs. Britt. Mr. Budd. Ms. Cantwell. Mrs. Capito. Mr. Cassidy. I got you. Ms. Collins. Mr. Coons. Oh. Mr. Cornyn. Ms. Cortez Masto. Mr. Cotton. Mr. Kramer. Mr. Crapo. Mr. Cruz. Mr. Curtis. Mr. Daines. Ms. Duckworth. Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst. Mr. Fetterman. Mrs. Fisher. Mr. Gallego. Mrs. Gillibrand. Mr. Graham. Mr. Grassley. Mr. Haggerty. Ms. Hassan. Mr. Hawley. Mr. Heinrich. Mr. Hickenlooper. Ms. Hirono. Mr. Hoven. Mr. Husted. Mrs. Hyde-Smith. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Justice. Mr. Kane. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kim. Mr. King. Ms. Klobuchar. Mr. Lankford. Mr. Lee. Thank you. Mr. Lujan. Ms. Lummis. Mr. Markey. Mr. Marshall. Mr. McConnell, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Merkley, Mrs. Moody. Mr. Moran. Mr. Marino. Mr. Mullen. Ms. Murkowski. Mr. Murphy. Mrs. Murray. Mr. Ossoff. Mr. Padilla. Mr. Paul, Mr. Peters. Mr. Reed, Mr. Ricketts, Mr. Risch. Ms. Rosen. Mr. Rounds. Mr. Sanders. Mr. Schatz. Mr. Schiff. Mr. Schmitt. Mr. Schumer. Mr. Scott of Florida, Mr. Scott of South Carolina. Mrs. Shaheen. Mr. Sheehy. Ms. Slotkin. Ms. Smith. Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Thune. Mr. Tillis. Thank you. Mr. Tuberville. Mr. Van Hollen. Mr. Warner. Mr. Warnock. Ms. Warren. Mr. Welch. Mr. Whitehouse. Mr. Wicker. Mr. Wyden. Mr. Young. Senators voting in the affirmative: also Brooks, Baldwin, Bennett, Blumenthal, Blunt Rochester, Booker, Cantwell, Coons, Cortez Masto, Duckworth, Durbin, Fetterman, Gallego, Gillibrand, Hassan, Heinrich, Hickenlooper, Hirono, Kane, Kelly, Kim, King, Klobuchar, Kim, King, Lujan, Markey, Merkley, Murphy, Murray, Ossoff, Padilla, Peters, Reed, Rosen, Sanders, Schiff, Slotkin, Smith, Van Hollen, Warner, Warnock, Warren, Welch, Whitehouse, and Wyden. Mrs. Shaheen, aye. Senators voting in the negative. Banks, Barrasso, Blackburn, Britt, Budd, Capito, Cassidy, Cornyn, Kramer, Cruz, Curtis, Ernst, Fisher, Grassley, Haggerty, Hawley, Husted, Hyde-Smith, Johnson, Justice, Lankford, Lee, Lummis, Marshall, McConnell, McCormick, Moody, Moran, Marino, Paul, Ricketts, Risch, Rounds, Schmitt, Scott of Florida, Sheehy, Sullivan, Tillis, Tuberville, Wicker, and Young. Ms. Klobuchar. Aye. Mr. Scott of South Carolina, no. Mr. Cotton, no. Ms. Murkowski, aye. Mr. Graham, no. Ms. Collins, no. Mr. Mullen, no. Mr. Thune, no. Mr. Schumer, aye. Mr. Kennedy, no. Mr. Hoven, no. Mr. Schatz, aye. Mr. Daines, no. Mr. Crapo, no. Mr. Bozeman, no.
On this vote, the yeas are 48, the nays are 52. The amendment is not agreed to.